Oh hey, good to see you guys there. Welcome back to the Dirty Business Garage. I'm Roman and I'm your host tonight. But so far we're gonna be doing some lathe work tonight, and these are my 35mm fork lowers off my my 48 pan head. It's a project I've been piecing together for the last freaking 5 years, and I'm starting to get there. And today we're just going to take all this nonsense off, you know, all the safety stuff that holds, you know, your fenders. At one time there was reflectors on here, and in this cool spot there's a front brake, but you know, who needs that? So we're going to get rid of all that, and we're going to go all chopper. So first off, we're going to pull these studs. And then we're going to take a portable bandsaw and we're going to cut the tabs off to save us some time before we get on the lathe. So hang tight. We're going to learn some stuff today. So usually I would put some protection on this, but since we're just gonna stick this in the lathe anyways, it doesn't really matter if we scratch it. So
I have some different impacts.
no, we're gonna be
I've got like small, big, and something.
no, we're good on the teeth. I'm gonna run through the whole thing. I think tonight we're just gonna smooth it out tonight, and then later I'm gonna go back through it and go through the grits. After I put them on the lathe, I like to take sandpaper and go through the grits. I'll go from 100 all the way to 800 by hand, just to go smooth it really out, and by then it almost becomes like it's polished or whatever once you get down to it. And then you can actually stick a little polishing wheel on it and it'll actually come out really nice. That's a cheaper way to do it. But I actually want to do a couple little weird designs in it later. But tonight we're just going to trim her down. Oh, there she goes. There's one. Yeah, sometimes with this old stuff, you just gotta put a little bit of fire to it. She'll break loose. Just don't put your hands on it because it's obviously really freaking hot. Got a little glove. Thank you. Perfect. That's what I want. I wanted a lefty.
Safety.
Lefty.
No, it's hitting.
Alright. There's one. I just need the other wrench because I left it over there. And we're going to...
Pull these studs out.
Yeah.
You want me to film?
Yeah, you could film him.
Okay.
We've already filmed one set. You don't need this one, grab it.
You cut that other tab off with it there?
Yeah, he can start working on this one, and then I'll get these out, and he can cut the other tabs off. Yay!
Bozzy. So, you've heard me say it a bunch of times. I'm into the porta band. So, a lot of guys want to use the grinder and all that. And the reason why I don't like the grinder and the cutoff wheel is if you know a little bit about metallurgy, you know putting all that stress and heat into something isn't all that good. Porta band, you get them at your local, like, it could be that, but let's be real. Pawn
I know
shop.
this mic is on and I can hear Steve in the other room right now.
And they're used, you know.
It's gonna be just
It's
fine with
recycling.
all the heat.
You go this way.
Still almost done, or is it not talking to you?
No, I just don't want to bother him.
Yeah.
2 bars.
But, last time I talked to him was like a month ago. I feel like I hit him up like a month ago.
What was that frame you're looking at? No, you sent a picture of another frame.
Oh, that's Steve's got.
No, Tommy. Oh,
That's a flathead frame
I get
with
it.
wheels, drums,
Right.
everything.
Yeah, got another
That
battery.
stuff looked like it might have been underwater though.
Boing.
If I can put a frame together, and I can consider on the ground and see where I should live and I can get back to welding. And
I was gonna bring some like fine sandpaper.
So, how do I describe this to you?
Almost polished a little bit.
right. And
If
that's
it's
all
your
I'll do
first
outside.
time using a lathe,
Like,
you can't talk about using a
I'll stick
lathe.
them on a lathe.
Basically,
Different sandpaper.
you want,
From all the way from 100.
there's a lot that goes into it, so it's hard for me to explain it. But
It's the same thing as painting.
your material is going to be spinning this way, which is counterclockwise, depending on how you look at it. You want your tool, your cutting tool, just underneath the diameter so that it grabs the chip and ejects it. That's the whole point of that. So you'll have different lands and different curves and a whole bunch of different ways to grind that tool. The tool that we have is going to be just fine. And just like I said, just a little bit underneath the center of the diameter is a good rule of thumb. Let's go with this.
Ivory.
Barrel nut?
It's actually a plumbing fitting. Yeah. Alright. Roll that down.
Go hot.
Alright. So since we cut all this off, we're just going to want to touch off. It's our biggest diameter without getting smacked in the face. You guys are worried, huh?
I'm clear.
So that's good there. So if you notice, we didn't center anything up because we do have a center in our tailstock. It's gonna center it to the chuck already. So no big deal. And basically I'm just taking 10 or 15 thousandths cuts.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell a story about this lathe, Roman?
Oh, cool. So I met Steve when I was like 18. So this was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So I started hanging out at the shop with Steve, and Steve had this lathe, and he was always messing around, and I would always be like this, what you doing? And so he had this thing forever. And then I moved to California, and then he shortly after moved to Burbank. So when he left the old shop, he sold this lathe to the owner at the time. Well, I hounded that owner for a while for this lathe because to me it was very special to me, because this is the first lathe that I ever got to use, and it belonged to Steve, and I just wanted to see it stay in the family. So eventually, after I don't know, like 3 years of bothering him, I ended up getting this lathe back, and here it is now in Tommy's backyard, and now we get to use it again. Yeah. It's freaking awesome. And you can do all kinds of stuff.
Spacers, axles, you can turn wood on it.
Yeah.
You can turn metal on it. You can turn aluminum on it. You
Yeah.
can turn brass on it.
Yeah.
You can make grooves and stuff. You can make sealing rings for like O-rings. You can like cut stuff off really flat, make it really flat for like spacers, or like if you need something super precise, you can do that. Or you can turn something down if it's a little bit too big. Or you can chuck stuff up and then you can polish it out. And then you could also like do decorative stuff too, like make a bunch of grooves in it.
Yeah.
So are you still doing the tube socks idea?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna tell them until now. But
Oh.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I blew
it was
it.
gonna be a surprise, but whatever. My plan, since it's the lower on the motorcycle, I don't know. I like wearing tube socks. it's dumb, I get it. But I wanted to make the top part like tube socks, like little lines and stuff. Something different, something fun. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is the lathe sound very quiet?
Oh, it's always like this.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember it being a little louder.
Well, it's because we used to use the feed, but right now we're not using the feed because we're filming. And you gotta take little cuts at a time anyway, and it's not the whole big thing.
Yeah.
But you usually use the what?
The feed.
What's that?
So it's got, this lathe has an automatic feed on it
Oh,
to where you can set the carriage to go a certain amount, which is all your gearing right there. Right?
why don't you do it?
Because we're showing the viewers how to do it.
Well, not only that, so the tailstock is kind of vibrating because the piece is so long. So I don't want to use automatic feed until we get to actual straight cuts, because it's going to bounce everything around and it might end up chucking something out.
Okay.
Because everything is saw cut after all, you know.
That's factory sound.
Yeah.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. These are some fork legs, turn, turn, turn. And don't forget to lube up on your tailstock. Like that. Tell me what you're thinking about, Roman.
Think about how awesome this is. I love getting to play with a lathe. It's just so fun. Just little by little, just that much closer to making whatever you got in your head come true. It's really fun. And if you're like me, you love playing with tools, and when you get to play with machinery like this, it's so much more fun. So it's just one of those things you don't want to rush. Just want to take your time and enjoy the process. Plus, I'm finally getting to build one of my dream bikes. So I'm just kind of taking in every bit of it. So this goes all the way back to when I first started working at Steve's shop. Not only was this lathe there, but one of the first bikes I got to help Steve on was a panhead and a knuckle. They were both owned by the same guy, and they were like all original bikes. But that was my first introduction to old bikes. And I just remember, like, the knuckle was sick, but there was just something about that pan that I was like, man, one day I'm gonna get myself one. And here I am, 20 years later, I'm finally able to chase that dream.
Did you shave the legs on that first panhead?
No, they were just bikes that, you know, like a lot of them, they just kind of sit around, and that was no different. And it was the same deal. We just cleaned the carbs out, and watching Steve kick them over was really cool. Because prior to that, I had never been around something that old, other than like hot rods and stuff. Like my dad was into crazy fast cars and street legal monster trucks. So that was pretty cool. But there was always something about motorcycles that really got me. And I mean, I started riding dirt bikes when I was in the 3rd grade. But there was something about a Harley that really got me going.
Evil Knievel.
I mean, it probably has something to do with it for
Right.
sure. I mean,
Doing dirt bike stuff with a Harley.
I mean, Robbie was my era,
Yeah.
but I remember as a kid watching him jump the Grand Canyon, and it was the craziest freaking thing ever. I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was pretty wild.
Did you see the one where he jumped from like one building to the other?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing I noticed with a lot of these fork lowers, they look like they're round, but they're not round. They're more like an egg shape. So when you start spinning down, now we're starting to get where this guy is down there and it's almost flush with this material. But then in other parts you can feel that it's got a high side. So we're pretty damn close, and I can just keep going, which I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna redo the whole thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if I was doing like just a plain customer one, I would take it down like a little bit more, and then I would start doing the sandpaper by hand or sticking it on the lathe and taking it down through the grits. But I'm gonna do like a couple little designs in the fork lower, so I'm gonna take it all the way down. But it's up to you guys. If you guys wanna, how far you guys wanna go with it tonight? And what time is it?
Oh, what time is it?
9:30. I'm gonna grind a couple more passes and we can just call it.
Are you tired?
No, but I gotta go work on set tomorrow.
All right, let me have at it a little bit.
You wanna get on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'll throw the feet on. There's a gearbox. I can't remember which way it is. I think it's this way.
What's he doing?
I'm engaging the gears so that we can use the automatic feed. Wrong way. So it's gotta go the other way.
Wrong way. I'll knock her down.
What happened? Round and round, love give time. Round and round, goes around, comes around. I'll tell you why.
That looks pretty awesome. So I think this is where we're gonna call it for tonight. This is just a basic, just showing you guys what's up.
Is that flat spot gone down here too?
No, it's still on the other side.
Oh yeah, just that.
So there's that piece. So like I said, I was telling you guys before, they look like they're perfectly round.
Right.
But in reality, they're not.
I see.
But that's totally fine for what we're doing. Okay? So this is gonna be where we're gonna call it for tonight. And I'm gonna bring the other one down just like this, and then I'm gonna go back through it and do my little design. But yeah, this is where we're at. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you guys next week on Dirty Business Garage. All right, have a good night.